Well, now recently revealed documents show the US once had plans in place to launch an automatic full nuclear response against both Russia and China. The revelation was made in a top-secret document published for the first time by the National Security Archive, a research institute in Washington, D.C. The policy, codenamed Furtherance, was changed in 1968, but up until then it allowed Washington to respond immediately with a nuclear attack against the Soviet Union and China if America came under attack and the president was killed. In fact, the document reveals that US administrations had secretly approved instructions to military commanders authorizing them to use nuclear weapons in such a case. To discuss this more, I'm joined from Moscow by Dmitry Babich, political analyst with the Voice of Russia radio station. Welcome to the program, sir. Mr. Babich, with this new document revealed, how do you think both Russia and China feel now that they know they could have become the target of nuclear weapons?
Well, I think it's nothing new for Russia and China because there was a lot of historic research done on the Cold War period. And certainly Russian and Chinese historians know that the world was in great danger during the 50s and during most of the 60s because obviously the United States was very nervous about the expansion of communist ideology in Southeast Asia and possibly in Europe. And certainly they were going to respond by nuclear means to any sort of a conventional arms attack. But of course, it shows just how easily Americans were prepared to use nuclear weapons until they felt that they had absolute superiority in this kind of weapons. It was only in the early 70s when the Soviet Union developed a huge nuclear arsenal, and it became quite clear that it would be enough to destroy the United States, that Americans started to get more cautious, and basically this doctrine of nuclear response to a conventional attack was abandoned.
And where will this leave global efforts for nuclear disarmament?
I think that the history of Soviet-American relations shows that Americans start talks on disarmament only when they feel a really strong force on the other side of the table. If they're dealing with a weak partner, they rarely start any sort of talking about arms reduction. They're not idealists. And that's why I think they're playing a very dangerous game in Iran, because obviously they behave very defiantly, they behave very aggressively, and they make everyone in Iran believe that without nuclear weapons, Americans cannot be stopped. So it's a dangerous game when, on the one hand, they say that they want peace and they don't want Iran to become a nuclear state. On the other hand, they do everything possible to provoke Iran into having a nuclear weapon, into acquiring a nuclear weapon.
All right. Many thanks to Dmitry Babich, political analyst from Moscow. Thanks for your time there, sir.